Okay, we're now on week 18. We're left with 2 more weeks and can't wait for the 26th to get rid of you guys. But it's been a great journey. I must say I've learned so much and I hope you have learned as much as I have. Today, I just want to talk about what are those 7 stages of the funding of a business from startup right through to it becoming a public company. This is where companies like Facebook have been over the years. Okay. You've heard this quotation that I've always spoken about, that I've quoted David Packard in his book, The Highway. David Packard is the co-founder of Hewlett Packard. So the other P in HP stands for Packard for him. He says more businesses die from indigestion than from starvation. Let us look at what could be starvation in a business. Starvation in a business could be lack of resources, lack of funding, lack of the necessary assets and the equipment to make sure that your business become productive. Okay. However, he's saying they will die from indigestion rather than from starvation. Okay. You might be curious as to what is this indigestion? This indigestion is basically, you may have all the resources that you need, but the question is, do you know how to deploy these resources for the purposes of building your startup and making sure that your business grows? This has always been a challenge for startups over the years, okay? So some of you guys, some of you have done entrepreneurship, you've learned how to build a business, and you guys have coaches, you've got people who are assisting you to do your business, but you sometimes are having a plethora of advice. Some of people who have never grown a business, who have never started business in their lives, have got a lot to say about how you should run your business, okay? And you don't know what to do. So you suffer what we call indigestion, because you just have too much advice. You are pivoting almost every week. This is why David Packard says that businesses will die because they change their minds every week. Depends on who they speak to. So this is something that you guys have to guard against as you move out of this program. Okay, let's look at the life cycle of a startup. Okay, most of you guys are here. You are in the valley of death. The question is, how do you get out of this valley of death? The money that you've used, friends, family, and the other F stands for fools. They've given you the money. You've used your lifetime savings. Your credit card is right up to the limit. Your overdraft is right up to the limit. You are now even thinking of mortgaging your house so that you can get the money to take your idea into a product, okay? And you've been applying for seed funding and it is not coming, okay? And you have never tasted break even. You for the past 18 months, you've been in this business, you're not seeing everything. Some of you even have customers, but hey, you are still not profitable and you are not getting from here to here. You might be having revenue, but you are still paying off the debts that you have on the side of, and you're trying to talk to funders, lenders. No one wants to talk to you because you still don't have traction. Let's look at those 7 stages of a startup. And these stages, they go from personal. You start using your money from a personal, and then you go to friends and family once your money is finished, and then you start looking for grants and they're not forthcoming, and you look at other alternative funding, then you go to angels and then VCs and IPOs. And I can assure you that if those guys in number 1, 2, and 3 are not going to give you money, rest assured that you're not going to get money from these guys because your product still doesn't have traction. Let's look at these 7 steps in greater detail. The first one is personal. This is where you're bootstrapping your business with your own funds, okay? Some of these people are still possibly in a job, and others personal debt like credit card, overdraft, etc. And you are still in ideation. This is a startup stage. You are still in ideation. Some of these people have prematurely left their jobs. Others have been forced out of their jobs through retrenchment, and they're trying to make ends meet. They're saying, hey, I've got to get money for the next month. And they believe that starting a business is going to get them to make money. And they come to a shock when after 6 months, nothing is happening from their side. Okay. And then they move to friends and family. Okay. Often these friends, these are people who like them. They believe in them. They are emotionally attached to them. They say, hey, we believe in you. You've done, we've seen that whatever that you start, you are very good at it because you've got good grades. You in school, you never struggled. And they think that, hey, when it comes to business, you're going to be successful. Okay. Some of them, they give you money, interest-free. Some of these people could be your parents, your rich parents. They give you money and you say, I'm going to give it back to you, and you never give it back. We know. Some of them might expect a little shareholding in the business. And then you say, and then these people are saying, hey, we trust you, we believe in you, okay? Although you've never run a business, but they will give you the money, okay? Because they like you. This is stage of the business. You're probably still in proof of concept, you're in prototype. This is pre-seed. There's still no seed funding into your business. And then you move into the third stage, which is grants. These come from sources from from government, investment promotion agencies, economic development agencies. I mean, like yesterday, I was at a pitching session in Eguruleni, which is an economic development agency, where we applied for funding. CEDA is funding this program. These are normally grants. They're not repayable, okay? And some of these could come from donor funding, from some of the international donor agencies. They give business grants, people who want to get into business. There's no issuing of shares, so there's no expectation of shares. For me, this is the area where you need to focus on, because here you don't have to give out shareholding. There's no repayment of this loan. And this is easy money if you can lay your hands on it. The size of this cash, it ranges from about 50,000 Rand to probably about 500,000 Rand. So you can lay your hands on this money, whether it's NYDA, whether it's CEDA, or any of those entities. But these days, this money has dried up because COVID has taken all the money. There's no repayment for this, okay? And it is seed funding, okay? Someone is planting a seed because they believe that you're going to make a difference and employ other people to work in your business. That might be the reason for government to be giving you this money. Let's move on. And then this year it gets exciting. This is other alternatives, okay, of you funding. You could join an accelerator, okay? A typical accelerator will give you a seed fund, like 50,000 Rand, but they want to take some shareholding in your business between 5% to 10% for a seed investment, okay? Going into our rollout phase, the Drone Accelerator program is going to adopt this model beyond the 2 pilot program. And accelerators, obviously, they help you with your business. They give you a co-working space. They make sure that because they are also investors in your business, they want to make your business work. Some of them are backed by VC funds. They want to make your business work at the end of the day. Or you could join an incubator. There's no sale of equity in an incubator. There's free co-working space, like the Innovation Hub will give you the co-working space and all of that. They're not taking any shareholding in your business. And so you stay there for 2 or 3 years, and hopefully you get out of there with a good business. You might want to explore this because it's something that will help your business. Then there's crowdfunding. Okay, the one that we know in South Africa is Stokvel. There's a lot of funding models now that are coming up, like peer-to-peer lending. Some of the people will just get a pre-sale of their product from a number of people, and this is an easy way of raising funding. The next one is business case competition. I'm sure you guys have seen challenges going out. They say, hey, apply, and this is a pitching competition. You're going to win 100,000. I know people go into these pitching competitions. They have no business. They have no, they don't have a product, but they go into this pitching competition. So for me, these competitions, they become more like how to do the best pitch. Sometimes you don't have to even have a business. You know, how you can put up a nice pitch. It's kind of like a contest. Okay. Some of here, you can get some value in kind funding. This is very important. Some people are going to say to you, look, we cannot fund you, but hey, we can give you business premises. You can come and operate from our businesses with no charge. You can use our phones. So some of this value in kind, you must take it. Okay, some of the value in kind that we're going to be talking about it. The company's going to come and talk to you about how they can do your books free of charge. Okay, so this is what happens as we move on. All right. Sorry, I just had to unmute someone. And then we move into the angels, the business of angels. Angels, these are business people who have an interest in getting into your business. And what angels do, basically, these are high net worth individuals. They want to invest into your business. Unlike VCs, they use their own money, and they are amateurs, okay? But they are often driven by emotions, okay? They were startup founders themselves. They get into this environment because they want to make a difference to some of the people. Others are driven by a certain cause that they will get to invite in. Okay, we will talk to you later. Can you just turn off your video? Just turn off your video, Chantal and Tanzin. We'll talk to you soon, but stay in here.
Oh, okay, not a problem. Thanks. That's
okay. These are amateurs, often driven by emotions, and you can basically take up to from 5 to 20% of equity. They inject your cash into your business. They invest their own money, okay, and then you move into venture capital. These guys invest other people's money, but they have strict mandates. They will tell you, for instance, we will not invest in a business that has to do with alcohol. We'll never invest in business that is into a military. So they have a strict mandate. So they will look for specific businesses. They say, some of them might say, we only invest in high-tech businesses with high growth. That becomes their mandate. They are professionals. They know what they're looking for. And they're sometimes not interested into the nitty-gritties of how your business works. They just want to know, is this business going to grow 5x, 10x in the next 3 to 5 years? Okay, because they're planning with an exit in mind. And that exit, they must grow the money for their principals. They're looking for high growth startups with high returns for their risk. The fact that this is venture money, they are prepared to take risks. These are not banks. These are venture capital who want to take risk. As an investor, the higher the risk, the higher the return that you want. Okay. Sometimes they'll take around 20% for Series A, and right up to 70% for Series D round. Okay. And then ultimately, your business, like Facebook, Mark Zuckerberg, you might go public. Okay. IPO, initial public offering. This is the first sale of shares to the general public. And you get listed in a stock exchange like JSE or London Stock Exchange, and which is very highly regulated, because you've got to, over and above the fact that you're going to be audited and they comply with all the laws, Companies Act, with public companies, there's even more regulations. You've seen Steinhoff, companies like those being suspended from listing in the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. Initial funders would cash in at this stage. You probably would make your money, you cash in at the highest price, and some of the VCs would cash in, and then the company, 40% of it would be owned, for instance, by, has to be owned by the members of the public. The rest could be institutional investors like PIC, which still owns shares in companies like Exaro. All right, let's look at the value of death. How do you survive the value of death? Because most of these companies are still in the value of death. We say, don't pledge your house. Commit a major customer. The best way to fund your business is from a customer and not from the loan from the bank or from a VC where you've got to exchange money. Focus on those funding sources where you don't have to pay it back. Explore all available grant fund sources. JV with a major player. And one of the things that came up from the pitching last week is that you guys must consider partnering amongst yourselves, but also partner with another established drone company. Again, non-financial services are also important that you must also look for. Crowdfund your way out, okay, in some instances. Get more monies from your friends, families, not the other F, which is fools, but try and get more money from those people. Keep your job or work part-time if you can, because the last thing you want is for you to be looking behind and saying, at the same time you're building your business, at the same time you're attending job interviews, you know, because if you're committed to your business, you've got to be committed 100%. Okay, lastly, I just want to say you're going to get money into your business. Sometimes the money that you get into the business, you may not be ready for it, okay? And the reason you're not ready for it is because you might have applied for it and some people believe in you, they give you the money, and then you begin to divert the money to unintended use, okay? Like buying your Range Rover when you actually need a bucket. Concentrate your funds on your next milestone. In your traction, when you spoke to investors and you said, this is where we are, our next milestone, this is what we want to achieve. Concentrate on the money for which you've applied for. Do not tie up your cash in unproductive resources, like a new car when you don't need a new car. I mean, I drive my car, which is 10 years old, and I have no reasons to replace that car. And don't buy drones if you don't have customers. Okay, you can always rent someone's drone and use it. Don't go into committing into flashy offices because someone have said, hey, you got to operate like a business. Someone need to see you. You know, you can't be operating from home. There's nothing wrong from operating from home. And in fact, these days, the people who have offices and people who don't have offices, there's no difference. Okay. Don't go out and hire unnecessary stuff. Some of the stuff that you need, you probably can outsource. You can outsource some of the things. You don't want to say, hey, I want to look like a business. I must have a finance manager. I must have this. No, you don't need that. The money that you have, it must fund your growth. You need to concentrate on what you've applied for. Lastly, good luck for the 26th. And yeah, and this lecture ends now. Let me stop recording and